This is the If More Let's Divide podcast.
Yo, Charlie, guys, what's poppin'? Welcome to the If More Let's Divide podcast. The energy is going to be high. I. Charlie, Fred, where do you go?
Charlie, bro, I be,
Yeah, Charlie.
I'm alive.
Yeah, Charlie. We are live and kicking it.
Yeah.
And we are back on set. Guys, we thank you for whatever you do give. We really appreciate. But Charlie, it's still not enough, Charlie.
Yeah.
You know the same old song, Charlie.
Subscribe and share.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of crazy watching us on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Sincerely, Accra is the last one that came out.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah. That one too was dope.
Yeah.
That one too was. Charlie, Fred, another episode with a dope human being.
Mm-hmm.
A very real human being.
Yeah.
The
name self.
Yeah, an all-round.
The name self be Rela.
Yeah, an all-round artist.
Rela, no.
You know, he's now penetrated into the media sphere.
Penetration.
Doing it big, Charlie. And he's on the podcast with us today.
Yeah.
Fred, do you know anything about this guy? I enjoy doing this to you.
I've read up about him. The thing that stuck with me the most is, like, a lot of times, like, MCs have monikers and you don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
But the way he flipped his own name to get, like, a very hip-hop name is almost like destiny. Like, it was
Charlie,
destined to be.
It was this thing. And,
Yeah.
Charlie, I've seen him on stage so many times. I've seen him battle a couple of times.
Oh, those ones that you can't hold against me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't here, but
I know. I've seen him do his thing.
I'm jealous.
Do his thing a couple of times. I mean, after I sure say maybe he go spit.
give you one or two,
He
Bars.
fully go do bars, my nigga.
Bars.
Charlie, guys, help us welcome C Real.
Yes, sir. Booyaka.
Real, Charlie.
What's up?
Hey, Charlie, we have been trying to. We've been trying to meet up
That's good,
to make this happen for.
Your mic.
To make this happen for a minute, Charlie. Now you are here, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. I love the place.
Yeah, Charlie. Thank you. This is our base.
Oh, more than base. This is the headquarters. Some Justice League guy down.
Charlie. Yeah, we too. We see what you are doing. Quite recently you were called to vote.
Yeah.
On the Grammy. So you there right now. You are part of the creme de la creme.
You sure?
Yeah, you have a voice. And you have a vote when it comes to the arts. Top at top. How do you feel?
It's surreal. Like, I mean, no pun intended. It's really, it's not the kind of thing you really have on a checklist or on a bucket list.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that on your journey you are lucky enough probably to be a part of. But like me, I'm very superstitious when it comes to like how the world works. Not on a religious or hyper spiritual, none of that nonsense kind of vibe. Nah, just on a plain understanding. Say we being here, there are things moving us through the experience of time, right? And every now and then, if you look, you go see a connection and understand even more that we are definitely not in charge of what's happening. We are experiencing what's happening, but we are not in charge of it. I'm saying this because the day after I got the email and I tweeted it, everybody was blah, 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 blah. I was driving home and then a lyric from an old song, the first 4 or 8 bars from the old song popped into my head. And it was more or less foreshadowing that. So I have a project out long ago called Raining Season. Born to Rise, that's the name of the track. And straight out the back, first verse is, reality is clear, but most still just can't take it. So they take the red pill and they jump into the matrix. Understand me, my plan is to make it straight to the Grammys. Salvation to the game like when the knife makes the lamb bleed. right? And I said that when I was nobody, bro. When I was just some guy with a rap. But the conviction and playing it on that day after that and be like, so there was a time where being a part of anything related to the Grammys was so fantastical that I created fiction of it. And unintentionally on this journey, I've still managed to navigate through that too.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's dope. So do you believe, or would you say we should speak things into power? We should speak things into existence.
100%. Like I believe in affirmation. I believe in manifestation. I believe in taking charge of tomorrow by the actions of today. Lawrence said, consequence is no coincidence. Causality is real. There's ripples all around us. The fact that we don't experience them through stimuli, external stimuli, so we pretend it's not there. Like air is literally flowing around us, right? But we forget about it. If you could see it, it's equivalent to what the fish is in the sea. But we don't perceive the world that way. We just know something called air.
Yeah.
But bro, we're literally swimming in it. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The perspective is what really makes you appreciate the little things we don't focus on, and I do that a lot.
So what would you say to someone who has been speaking things into power, into existence for so long, and working towards it, and nothing is still, happening for them?
Worrying is worse than laziness. If you want to do something, believe in it and do it. But the moment you worry, you're also telling the universe that I'm not sure about this thing I want. Right? And whether you like it or not, things are finite in some sense. It's not going to wait for you. Otherwise, everybody would be their childhood dream.
Yeah.
So it's not going to wait for you. That's why we have a phrase like people are ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Right? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is this your childhood dream?
The one time I was asked as a child in school what I wanted to be, and my mom cried, I said I wanted to be a clown. My mom gave me some look like she's wasting time. Like,
Clown. That's different.
Yeah, bro, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just a dumb little kid. I was just panicked and said something stupid. But I mean, I never really wanted to be this or that. I just wanted to experience as much depth of my potentials as possible. So I get people coming up to me and they tell me, why you stop rap? I'm like, all right, cool, relax. Because, again, just like the air thing, because you are not in that world, all the other amazing stuff I've done that have not been rap, you are oblivious to them.
Yeah.
So you are dealing with a crisis like, oh my God, serene potential, I should have rapped, I should have done this. But, bro, I'm not rapping. But somebody appreciated the art and the artist enough to know that let's add him to the conversation. You feel me?
That's
but
wild.
there have been people rapping ever since I was rapping, and Grammys ain't never gonna reach out.
Yeah.
You get it? So my experience of life is basically just maximizing all my potential. So if I dream it, if I desire it well enough, I start, and I keep going.
That's dope. That's dope, Fred.
Yeah. What's good, bro?
Yes, sir. Please, I'm fine. Thank you, sir.
Charlie. So today I'm gonna start from somewhere crazy. I don't know how this is occurring to me, but as I'm listening to you speak, you seem very expansive in your. Some people would say well-read, exposure, articulate, eloquent, but it doesn't come off to me as just somebody who's learned a bunch of words. It's somebody who's thought through how they express themselves. I don't know where you grew up, but it's very intriguing to me. So can you please expand on where that form of expression, have you heard this before? You don't express or speak it
I think what you're saying is what most people say is like, hey, we deep.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Well, I don't, not for me, it's not, I don't think you're shallow, and I'm not talking about deep. I'm talking about your mind. Your mind seems to be ticking.
Yeah.
Like it's alive.
Yeah.
You know, when he asks you a question, you're ready. You're on it. You have a thought already. To express. Yeah. And that's a very uncommon thing to Ghanaian culture. Like the way we are not raised to be very expressive or articulate it because you be too no that guy the rush if you say yeah. You know, that's what I'm talking about. The way you express yourself.
I get you. So I grew up. I started life in Accra, Ghana. I started life in Hohwe. My parents were teachers in. I've never said the story anywhere. My parents were teachers in Nigeria, English teachers. People didn't need English teachers, so they came from Ghana to go and teach English. Wow. And then there was Ghana must go.
Yeah.
So my parents get to the border, and my mom is pregnant with me, so she gets to go. My dad stays. No telephone, no letter, no address, nothing. My dad stays. My mom goes back to Hohwe, has me, and blah, blah, blah. One day my dad pops up. He's alive and well. Furthers his education, finishes all that, blah, blah, blah. Comes to University of Ghana campus, Legon as a junior lecturer. Then he goes to do his PhD, and then we all get hauled off to Manchester, UK. So that's my formative years happened in Manchester. I was about 12, 13 when I came back to Accra to come and fit in at class 6, where I was like, WTF. So yeah. So I culture shock, and I think the culture shock jocked a stern focus on making sure that I'm responsible for what goes in my head. So I failed a lot of exams because I didn't see the necessity of it, or I was trying to be recalcitrant, or how do I say it? Or I was more focused on something else that intrigued me, and I didn't see the value of, okay, I write the test. Let's say I come in first. You know, they clap for me for 10 minutes. Like, what's the equal to? What's next? I get to go to the other class, and I'm like, if I'm 30th in a class of 50, I still get to go to the other class. So do you want me to know the thing, or do you want me to pass the exam? Yeah. And I'm saying this because typical African parents, they blast me. I chop last my 1 hour before, I'm not gonna lie. Simply out of laziness. Because, like, the little kid in the class where this guy should be doing better. That was me, just because I didn't care. My parents got really sad about it all the time. But I went from being last in math to being second. And that just made it worse for me. Because now I'm like, so you see, I can do it, so leave me alone.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So the next time I chop last, it's okay, in head no die. Here we had. Yeah. So I went through life mostly like that. I went to St. Peter's. I was doing agric science, but I still was probably top 3 in English in lit for sugar reasons. And that usually doesn't happen with the science guys. The arts 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. Like to the point where my essays day on notice board. Just for the fun of it. And like it was like that. So I've always been that expressive, maybe in dealing to the culture shock, maybe in trying to make a statement, maybe in trying to find my own place. But language, comprehension, and expression have never been a challenge.
It's very obvious. I mean, it's rare for me to run into somebody that's my first impression of them. Like it's so, like, you're so lucid. When Mutombo was asking you about what you were doing, the first thing that was like kicking in my head was manifestation has become a big thing now on social media, speaking things into existence.
Holistic.
Yeah. And one person that's a rapper too that's done it, like, his seems almost too good to be true. It's like almost magical. I don't even blame people for calling him satanist and all kinds of names, but Jay-Z is, to me, like the playbook on say it and let it be. There's nothing that guy hasn't
at all costs,
manifested or set on record that he didn't become. And I saw in your bio that he's one of the people that you admired, from Jay-Z to Elzai to all kinds of stuff. Like, that's a very wide,
and also Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I love Kenny Rogers.
Bob Marley and Sizzler. Like.
So what caused that eclectic nature of your personality is very eclectic. It seems like you pick from a wide range of things to be interested in.
Curiosity, basically, because once you have favorites, you close yourself to every other experience and the possibility of finding an experience that supersedes what you've marked as a favorite. If my favorite food is jollof, every time I get the opportunity for great cuisine, I'm going to choose jollof. I'm not going to get the calamari. I'm not going to get a shepherd's pie. I'm not going to get anything else because I love jollof. So as much as it's good to have favorites, it also is basically you committing to the fact that I choose this over every other thing I could possibly experience. That's how I see it. So growing up, like you said, I was lucid. I'd probably wake up and across the bridge, there'll be no sorrow. That's what's playing. And I'd sing along and listen, blah, 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 you know. And then in the afternoon, here come the hot step up murderer. That's it. And I'll go and play Chaskele Small, but I'll come home and play my video game too. You understand? And then that's it. And I got into movies, books, poetry, and philosophy very early. Like just reading for the sake of it and understanding things, like how the mind works and the fact that, you know, you're not just on autopilot. A lot of people go through life just on autopilot too. These are the rites of passage. Like, exist, make sure you make your parents proud, get a good job, get into the industrial earning system, find a mate, reproduce, do something that makes you significant in your community, die.
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah, bro. Like, we don't like to talk about it, but that's
You
the
have
last.
to die.
Bro,
Yeah.
if you like live forever, you gonna die,
And
nigga.
leave an inheritance.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
That's it. It's like we're running a stupid relay.
Yeah.
So let me run through life and see how much assets I can amass so that my kids' race is less tedious. But there's so many things to do in this life while experiencing that same thing. We are all, that process is inevitable to all of us, right? But there's ways to do that. Do you want to be sitting in a job you hate for people you despise for a pay that's not enough when you could be creating your own podcast and be yourself and have your feet on your couch while you make earnings? It's a choice. How many people get the balls? How many get the balls or the insight or the awakening to know that this is the only life I have? Yes, mommy and daddy want to be happy. Maybe wifey wants to be happy. My cousins, aunties, brothers said I should be a doctor. People, yeah, it's great. We all had that pressure. But nobody's going to die, bro. You go die. And on that last breath, do you want to die with flashes of all the potential you had and all the fantasies you had about yourself being the last thing going through your mind? Or do you want to be there going, fuck yeah, level completed. What's next? We all come with a purpose. And that purpose is communicated through our imagination. What we perceive about the life we are living and who we are. That's the purpose you've been given. So if it's strong enough to supersede your immediate experience and it's still in your head, so you come from a good house or a bad house, and the money day or money no day, or whatever, blah, blah, but you still want to play football. That means every other thing you're experiencing is less important than this desire that is surviving through it all. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what you need to put your 100 on. Because the rest of the problems you're facing, everybody else is facing those problems, bro, in their own way. Kudus grew up in Nima, right? Some other players too grew up in a good home, like Cristiano Ronaldo and Kidide trained. LeBron and Bronny are lined up now. Bronny grew up in probably one of the best homes in the planet, with the best shit, 1% life. Yeah, but guess what? He and Kudus are now global sporting superstars.
Yeah.
And the only difference between them and everybody else is that they chose their purpose. They chose that little thing that was being imagined in their head, that little voice they couldn't turn off, and they fucking went for it.
It's true. I agree.
People don't live their life that like. People compromise that voice for, let me not be confrontational. Daddy said, mommy said, my friend said, teacher said. I chose not to do that. I just
Good. Dope shit.
But so you mentioned two names, Kudus and LeBron's son. But for someone like Kudus, right? Did he have a choice to choose? Do you think?
Giving up is a choice. He didn't. So I always consider giving up as a choice. We all have that one uncle who's in the mid-50s telling us about how great he was at something, but he never did it.
They could tell you how to do it.
I've been
they never
doing that
did it.
with my son, Charlie.
Oh, no. Fuck that. I don't believe that.
I've been doing that.
I've known you too long for you to sell me that glass of piss. I don't go buy your glass of piss. Go away.
Yeah,
Bro,
Charlie, don't mind
you
me.
know where I know this guy from? Bro,
Yo.
when they do spoken word with people, they all have come way back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro.
Charlie, so Fred spoke about how lucid you are, where when you speak, your thoughts and all that. You spoke about how well versed you were in some subjects like literature. Did that help your art form? And when I say art form, yes, you rap. I think freestyling should be different from rap, even though it is rap, because freestyling is straight off the dome. It's a whole new sphere. Like, you have to think ahead of time, right? Did these things that you enjoy doing in school help you with that art form?
Yeah, they did. They gave me clarity. They gave me understanding. They gave me command, especially of the language and the phonetics of it. 'Cause any spoken art form is all about the phonetics. Rhyme is phonetical. All that. Rhyme, time, line, lines. The phonetics that's making it a rhyme.
I do agree. But with freestyling...
Yeah. So with...
It's
okay,
how... It's the brain.
The brain, yes.
How the brain is
I get you.
overlapping.
I get you.
You know?
I get you. You see, we think about thinking. Right? No, we think about thinking.
Yeah.
And that's what mars our thoughts. And when you're freestyling, you are not supposed to think about thinking. You just deliver. You give your brain a task, and you let your mouth print it out. What happens in between that is none of your business. That's how you freestyle. The moment you want to filter it and check it be dope, it go rhyme with this, but you're wasting time. You'll choke. That's why if you notice when a battle rapper chokes, he keeps going over the last 1 or 2 bars. And I said, yo, chill. And I said, because he's stuck in a loop. The brain's not working anymore. Information jump for the middle there is under review. you understand?
The paper jump for the printer.
Exactly. It's under review. So he's stuck. Now he needs to go and get a different experience, making brain resets more. Then he's back to normal. And we all do this. For example, anybody watching, you sitting here right now, if I ask, what do cows drink? Everybody thought about milk. But cows don't fucking drink milk. Cows drink water.
I thought water, but yeah.
Yeah. And like cows
Sometimes
drink their mother's milk. But like, technically, cows don't fucking drink milk.
Yeah, I actually thought milk.
Yeah, if you're running a dairy farm, you don't fucking fill your trough with milk for your cows. Fill the fucking water. Great. But we all thought milk. Why? Because we thought about thinking.
Yeah.
And your brain has already got presets saved. You see, it's like every muscle. You need to work it. Your brain already get presets. So you heard drink, it heard cow. It had drink, it had cow.
Yeah.
And the next association in your brain
milk.
is fucking milk, even though it's wrong.
That's crazy.
So that's how people leave the examination hall and be like, all right, Tony, like by the question 15, you draw the graph and you're like, fuck? What graph? Because motherfucker was in the fucking exam hall thinking about writing the exam.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking a breath and bro, you understand?
Yeah.
But people are so freestyling is easy, bro. The problem is not learning how to freestyle. The problem is learning how to shut off that intermediary interference, that thing in the middle. When you turn that off and you are not being distracted by any other stimuli, you're not looking at the guy, you're not thinking, should be yellow, blah. You're using your brain for something. You get, it's like driving forward and driving reverse at the same time. Gearbox go bang. If I'm doing 200 and I slam my gear in reverse, you go just like the way you go choke.
Yeah.
So it's about giving that clarity and understanding that, okay, this guy has to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to understand what he's saying, not obsess on how he said it or the words he said, right? Like if a nigga starts his battle rap with, this nigga Mutombo, he ain't shit to me. He's disrespect your character. That's what you've got. How he said it don't mean shit. You said I ain't shit to you, but I'm about to make you history. Even if I took 2 shots, you still wouldn't be a miss to me.
Yeah.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
Because I understand what you mean, not what you said. But most people get caught up on what he said and want to rhyme back or juxtapose or some shit.
Make it more complicated than it should be.
But understand and respond. That's what freestyle is. Understand and respond. Don't think. Don't get obsessed on making sure every line is straight and the eyes are crossed. Believe that your brain is more powerful than your mind. The muscle, no, it gets sense than how you use them.
Can you tell us a little bit about your channel O Sprite? Do you know something? You were second.
Yeah, on the continent.
And I was there. Right?
Yeah.
I think I have seen you battle so many times, and I remember the final day. You came out second. We were all pissed because you were us. Like, you were us. How do you feel that you were cheated?
Oh yeah, I mean.
Then still, because that was that night we were all pissed.
For a long time I felt that way, but for years now I haven't. Because the story and the the fact that everybody realizes that there was a discrepancy in the outcome has kept the story alive and the meaning and value of the story longer than if I won. Because the guy who won, nobody... You didn't get a Grammy email.
Bars.
Punchline.
Straight up.
You get
Like booyaka.
You get what I'm saying? So for me, a lot of people don't see that perspective. Like, hey, man, they cheat you. And I'm back on my mind, I'm like, we say, they cheat me, why paying you? And that emotional connection be why they love me. Why they fuck with me. So it's cool say they cheat me. Because I killed everybody in Ghana. And for the first time, well, not the first time, the second time, J-Town did it the year before. But for the second time and the first time in my life, my exposure to the music community, the day of the birth of the name, C-Real, all that was tied into a victory. Bro, it doesn't get more underground. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, almost spaghetti. It doesn't get more 8 Mile than that.
Yeah.
Like, this be some Accra Osu 8 Mile. Let me tell you the story. Me and Beat Menace, my cousin Silas, my childhood friend Kwe, we had an office in Osu, Kuku Hill.
Yeah.
We were running an agency. So straight out of school, Charlie, we hit the ground running, open mix down studios.
I know that office very well.
For the top there.
Yeah.
And we had an agency called Creative Thirst. So the Thirst was 3RST. So you see where our minds, they were gone. Like, they come take over. Bro, we entered the real world before we realized, say, bro, even if you get the idea, you still know the running.
Yeah.
So we're typical bootstrap startup creatives. We had a studio, we wanted the jingles and music. Everybody knew Photoshop a bit, some more than others. We all had black MacBooks. Remember the old MacBook? Bro, we got our long bench. Like, bro, fucking Silicon Valley. We were going.
About to take over.
Bro, I was friends with everybody, Jay. So, Jay, all the hip hop community, everybody knew me. Once in a while when we meet, I bought some freestyle. I did rap then, but I was not a rapper.
Yeah.
You can refer to me at that time that's real they rap. No way, no rap. But nobody referred to me as an artist. So one day we're in the office there, and then Beats Menace comes in and it's like, Channel O, that time Channel O was the biggest thing in the country.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
Channel O people, they do MC Africa, battle rap for Tantra, old Tantra.
Yeah.
So people don't know that Beat Menace started out as a rapper. Kofi the rap. Kofi, myself, and a friend called Tendai, we were in a rap group called NT, Nipatuntum.
I think Beat Menace said it on the podcast, yeah.
So that was all about black identity, staying true, rapping hard. So we used to listen to KRS-One, Black Alicious, Cannabis, Chino XL, rap! So that's you understand, like, I'm trying to do a 16 syllable stack, you know? Degenerate, terrible rappers with intelligent tactics and factors like the raptors attacking, sticking you like cactus, get caught in my lattice. I light you up in matches for practice, they either match this. That's what we're doing when we were like... That's what we're doing. I don't even know how old we were. We weren't even in uni yet. This is like SS1, SS2, holiday. They gather for Tim Dying house, and then it's like, all right, cool, I do 16. No, for 50 to do 24. So the time Beat Menace came in and was like, yo, these guys... They do some MC Africa thing. The only person on the fucking globe who probably had no doubt was Beat Menace. Yeah. And I give him his flowers. So Beat Menace comes, makes the announcement. My cousins and everything were like, actually, go. You never know. Go. So I'm in khaki pants, I'm in loafers, and I'm in a shirt, long sleeve dress shirt. Corporate, startup guy. They go client and they go beg for job. So I get to Tantra, I fold up my sleeves, try and cool out the outfit a bit.
I was there.
The outfit was not cooling. I was like, fuck it. I was like, these guys are going to use this outfit against me. But okay, that also means that I know where they're going to go. They're like bulls now. I've given them a red dot. So I know where they're going to go. So I set ambush on that road and like fucking moth to the flame. Every one of these dumbass motherfuckers came right at that same thing. And look at you and I'm like, bro, it was like fucking dominoes. Just So we were outside, right? The tournament started late, planning and Ghanaian. Started late as fuck. We're outside, and then so they decided to take digs at me outside in the parking lot. Like I have pictures.
Yeah.
In the parking lot, just random. This guy filled the form. Buying. So anybody who came at me there, it's like the prison analogy. When you go in there, find the toughest motherfucker and fight him. If he kill you, at least you had it early. So anybody who came at me, I don't make you go. So 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, before I know, crowd gather. Fuck the competition they're doing outside. Inside. The outside in the parking lot, people had camcorders, all sorts of shit. And one after the other. When I knock this guy, then they say, no, but Charlie, forget this guy. Say, bring this guy. Bro, everybody who signed up for the competition got their ass whooped outside of the fucking competition before the competition started. On God.
I know.
Wow.
So because I was the only person there who had nothing to lose. My focus at that time was my business I was trying to build with my friends. This was a fucking Tuesday or Thursday afternoon. It's like, if I go there and embarrass myself horribly, nobody even gonna remember. Like, fucking jump off the cliff, learn how to fly on the way down. So I got there, they asked for a name, and I'm like, fuck, my name is Cyril Alex Kujo Edem Gokel. Which one am I writing on this rapper's shit? So I look at my name, and I realize that when you spell Cyril backwards, what do you get?
Lyric.
Lyric, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, woo! Okay. And I was like, no, this shit is corny. Lyric is, I'd have to explain to every single person that, no, but flip it backwards. So I was like, okay, forget about it. I was like, you know what? Creative thirst. I didn't want to get a day job. I wanted to be in the creative field. My name is Cyril. If I flip it backwards, it's Lyric. Like, okay, C-real. The only person who knows what the C-real means, I'm going to tell you now. I've never said it anywhere.
Yeah.
The idea for the C-real was creative reality. And it was a promise to myself to ensure that no matter where I go, what capacity I find myself in, or whatever I'm doing with this life, it'll be an ultimate expression of creativity. I would make sure. The same way I could be designing posters or giving creative direction for posters for Intercontinental Bank, close my laptop and go and start battle rapping. And then probably in the evening, go and meet Mutombo somewhere and go do spoken word. Creativity was too big of a magical thing for me to exclude from my life. So that day I penned C-real.
Dope.
And
it's still here to stay.
Yeah, and I walked in there and came out with a trophy.
That's
everybody
crazy.
already died outside. So the stammering and the yo was more. It was because battle rap is all about the ego, right?
Shit.
Yeah.
And you went to poke a poodle and got your ass handed to you. So now come and do it in front of cameras. Like, fuck. This is now channel O.
Yo, nigga, you wearing khakis, man.
Yeah. Who is your favorite battle rapper or freestyler?
Freestyler, I'd go to Black Thought, number 1. Eminem next. And then Jay-Z. Jay-Z for the cadence and the style, and he doesn't rush. He's taking his time. We're trying to 1-1-1. Eminem for the dexterity.
Yeah, Eminem is a...
Eminem, he gets some freestyle I learned when I was a kid. Met a retarded kid named Greg with a wooden leg, snatch it off and beat him over the fucking head with a peg, go to bed with a keg, wake up with a 40. Like, I was like, bro.
Yeah.
It's like the absurdity of the story he's telling, the rhyme scheme he's holding, the speed and delivery of it, and this was old Eminem, So I was like, no, that guy is there. But Black Thought, because Black Thought gets some freestyle online, like 7 minutes.
Do you think that was a freestyle?
Black Thought?
Yeah.
I've seen him do it in many
Yeah, I have, but I think
maybe you see what also happens with freestyles is that sometimes they're so good it sticks. I have freestyles I did that if I wrapped it back to you now, you think it was a written verse, right? And it sticks. And everywhere I say it's a freestyle, this one they write them. I wrote it after I freestyled it. Yeah. That's the genius of people like Nas and Jay-Z. So when Jay-Z said he doesn't write, he's not saying that he doesn't capture the freestyle and deliver it more accurately. He means the point of ideation is here, not here.
Yeah.
Most people's point of ideation starts with the
Pen.
ink.
Yeah.
So if I think about it, me, Mutombo chilling on the podcast, if that's a freestyle, writing it down and making sure I deliver it well, it's not.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There's a genesis to writing. Okay, what am I writing about? This song is about little kids. It's about this. It's about that. But it's a different vibe. Just going into the booth, hearing the beat, and the thing is forming in your head. It's a totally different world.
Yeah. Did you ever battle with J-Town?
Nah.
You and J-Town, who do you think will murk who? Like, who go in?
I shall go kill you.
Challenge J-Town.
Bro,
yeah.
That's a question you never ask any rapper.
Yeah.
I mean, what's he supposed to say?
Yeah, what am I supposed to say? High podcast people, I'd lose. Yeah. Fuck that, nigga. I'm killing everybody.
Chai, you guys, J-Town, back in the day, you guys were, going in. Chai, enough about Fred. You get any question?
Just
on
to
this?
follow up on, because he said he never talked about the meaning of his name. But in that moment, was it to you the double entendre of it?
Yeah.
Also, like
It was fucking profound.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Like it's 3, right? C, real.
Yeah.
The play on your name, and then the meaning that you're creative.
Triple entendre.
Triple entendre. Don't ask me how.
Yeah. So you now work at
The 3 Media Network.
3 Media Network. You are playing a top role there, and you have a show where you come on screen every day. With this and getting in the studio and on stages and you know, which one do you feel you enjoy more? Please be honest.
I enjoy this.
You enjoy this?
I enjoy this. I enjoy. The reason why I'm still in this space and doing me is because I fucking enjoy it, bro. Like the control over my life, the lack of reactivity, the need to not please anybody.
You don't miss doing music videos,
bro. Stress of it. I mean, it's fun, but it's a whole different universe.
Yeah.
And it takes a special kind of commitment to get that. And I know rappers who are successful, who have done it all, and who are tired. Like Onyaya and Ka, AIB or who take the rap persona and go chill. But like I said, it's about the purpose. What's in your mind? Like the manifestation for me, there be more.
Yeah.
When we recorded, I've always wanted to be on radio and TV, by the way. Since I started doing voiceovers. And I mean, shout outs to Joy FM. I know I work at 3 Media Networks, but Joy FM broke my mind to the potential of how intriguing a voice could be. Remember that old jingle, Joy 99.7 FM?
Yeah.
I mimicked that. I'm sure if I do, I'm a producer where you play the other one. I used to sit by my radio just for that.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was like, radio. So I wanted to fidget around with all this. Radio Universe, I go walk there once or twice. The time I did campus. Atlantis, I go walk there before. I was messing around with Hits FM.
I think Choice, you were working with.
I was punditing and rapping on Choice with Brownberry and Red Knife.
Yeah.
So I even forgot that. So I've been around radio. Again, a lot of people don't know that because, okay, whatever. I don't talk about everything that's going on in my life. But I've been messing with radio for a long time. And even to the point of even putting in my music. So for me, a lot of my music is foreshadowing. I don't know what the fuck is going on with me. But if you listen to work off ELs, I don't know. I don't remember his work one or two. Like, if you hear me on your radio or see me on your TV, but I know it ain't about no freebies. I stay on my grind just like a CD, work for my own damn self, no CV. That was before I even knew how to get a radio job. But I just knew that it's something I desire so much that one day, I go end up there. And when you do see me end up there, I'm not going to be there starting at the bottom. I'm going to be there based on the creative reality that I've built. And I said that in a song, and one day I'm sitting there, and then Baba Sadi calls me that, there's this network, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, you are not calling me. The universe is calling me. You conduit. Say less. So
That's wild.
So for me, I'm seeing it from a different perspective. These are things I've fantasized, and I get to experience them. And you want me to give it up, so you double tap my Instagram. Like, what's the bottom line? Money. Fame is subjective because we have superstars that are reclusive, who don't want to be seen, fucking hit the paparazzi, who don't want to be anywhere, blah, blah. We have recording artists who never perform. Right? The bottom line for everybody, there is money. So I found ways to make money so I don't have to worry about money. And I can let my creative reality unfold whatever door opens. It's exciting enough, actually.
Wow. That's deep. That's very, very, very deep. So what's your role at 3 Media?
I'm the head of brands and marketing. I'm also an on-air personality. So I co-host the morning show and I host my own sports show, Game On, which airs Fridays at 8:30.
You have to check it out. So before TV3, I mean marketing. You were
music.
Yeah, before 3 Music, you also worked with Origin 8.
Oh yeah, long time ago. I think I did my national service at Originator Extended. There's my first exposure to advertising. So at this point, I'm young. national service.
Yeah.
I get posted to Daily Graphic.
Yeah.
Because by now everybody knows that, what's bro for power. So I get posted to Daily Graphic. I'm like, I don't want to be a fucking editor, man. Breaking stories and shit. I want to be able to create. The difference between advertising and news media is that you don't get to create it.
Yeah.
Most of the parameters are the same, but you don't get to create it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on the side that creates out of nothing to move perception. So I went to the best place at the time. Originate such and such. Greatest minds. Creatives. Bro, we used to have this thing every Friday called Idea Critics, where everybody comes up with a fictional campaign. Bro, it was like fucking Avengers Endgame every Friday. Everybody brought their A, and it was like sharpening of each other's swords.
Yeah.
So the Friday people, they do happy hour, they blast, they chase girls and things. Bro, they take brains knack left and right for Originate. And I always give flowers to Jason Nate, who was my creative director, then my own friend Kofi Poku, who was creative director and art director for MTN. My partner now, Michael Gordon, who's the CEO of Center Stage. Dennis Gauga, who was an art director, who's now the head of marketing at CFAO. Kenneth Hammond, who was an account director, who's now the MD of Innova DDB.
Wow.
And the CEO at the time, Joe Onete, who is now the CEO of and chairman of Ninani Group.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All of them went on to do...
These are the people I was fucking with, bro. Fucking geniuses.
That's wild.
Yeah, there was no Sangwas did the squad inside. Bro, when I'm with these boys, shut the fuck up. It's time to absorb. You don't know anything, Cyril. Listen, there's a ton of other people I didn't mention. But, when it comes to ideation, branding, marketing, sales, perception targeting, these are the people.
Wow.
Yeah, these are the people who really, for me, were a pillar in that creative sphere. And I always doff my hat to them, and they know. There's no opportunity I don't tell them. They know.
What were some of the projects that you did at your time? Then
I think I ran copy for MTN a couple of times. Women's World Banking. I ran copy for Camp 2008. The fun park that was Apollo.
What does run copy mean?
Run copy, so English. Not So usually, the idea for the visuals most times starts from the head, the copy. So the designer, the art director need to come up with an idea that both integrates the copy and the what's it called, the visuals. So it's not just English.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of copy I worked on. Heaven mosquito coil or Heaven insecticide. I consulted, disclaimer, I consulted for an agency on that project. And the brand wanted to, I can say this because time pass. The brand wanted to position itself as a difference. Every mosquito coil was about the fragrance, or the mosquito will die, or things we already knew. But they wanted to sell mosquitoes in the way Red Bull sells energy drinks. Red Bull never sells energy. They do amazing stuff, and you fuck with Red Bull.
Yeah.
So the copy that led the entire direction was Heaven Dear Bakupe, which is something I came up with in Tree, which usurps the whole narrative of everybody else can fight about fragrance and size of the can. These are not things your consumer considers actively when making a choice. Your consumer has to make a choice because they don't know. So if you stand out and say, I'm the king, you get it. And who's going to fight with the idea of Heaven Dear Bakupe? Say Heaven Dear Bakupe.
Yeah.
And the double entendre of Heaven literally being Bakupe and Heaven insecticide being the only one unique. Yeah. We'll waste our time and tell you whether it's fragrance, whether it's this, blah, blah. That's copy.
Yeah.
And that little phrase birthed the creatives you see on the billboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's copy.
That's dope.
It's fresh.
Large, Charlie. Having their Bakupe. And it's so quite recently I've been seeing copies on billboards, especially, and I go like, Charlie, this thing no they flag you me. This thing no they there is I don't want to mention their name, but Charlie, it is so long.
Yeah.
And they were trying to do it in pidgin, and the pidgin is off.
Yeah.
That happens. Those kind of things happen when the marketing director or the person who has the final say is more administrative than creative.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem with a lot of. We've done this on our the big conversation on Culture Daily. A lot of marketing managers are looking at the bottom line. Fair enough, and they are looking at being civil and being corporate, and making sure the administration of the campaign is in line and kosher. Ghanaian brands don't really disrupt. Yeah, somebody could do some what's it called, mob, flash mob for Accra Mall and do some support and some call going. Yeah, that's not disruption. We're doing flash mobs since the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? Disruption is when Red Bull took somebody to the stratosphere and dropped them.
Yeah.
You understand? Disruption is when BMW decided to stop making ads and make short films with Clive Owen, Madonna, all that's on YouTube. So now instead of watching the BMW has this and that and that and that and that, it's fucking driven by Clive Owen. He has to rescue Madonna. It's a 15-minute blockbuster Hollywood movie. And by the time you're done, you want a fucking BMW. You understand? Yeah. That's disruption. Yeah. But a lot of Ghanaian brands is radio, TV, press, social media. Let's do some billboards. We want to do an activation. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but I've been doing it since like 2008.
Yeah.
And I can tell you boldly that it's repetitive. And the students of the game who are now in charge learned it from the way the game was, who learned it from the way the game was. So now, to really be disruptive and move away from the norm in the marketing space and the branding space, has become, a bit of a quagmire for people. Because I have to put my job on the line. Was it George Under at MTN? Back in the mid-2000s or whatever. He painted he dyed his beard yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Because I think he was head of marketing for MTN or some shit. That's disruption. Corporate guy, fuck it. Yellow, that's how much I love the brand. Let's go to the meeting. You are talking to MTN. Today, he's a legend for that. The slightest things, didn't cost but a peswa.
Yeah.
You understand? But the impact to his reputation, to the brand, making it so cool, all that, till today still has, output. And brands have stopped doing that. I mean, if I asked you to name maybe 2 disruptive brands in Ghana here, if you take the bank ads and you change the logos, the message will still deliver.
Yeah.
If you change the colors and the logos.
Same.
If you took bank A and put it on bank B and took bank B and put it on bank C, you'll still get the message. And the moment that happens, there's nothing unique about you.
Generic.
If I took a Mercedes engine and put it in a Picanto, nobody's going anywhere because that's how unique Mercedes is to Picanto. The differentiation doesn't exist because everybody is being afraid and playing it safe. So they've headed themselves into a group thing.
I know you are no longer in that field, but you mentioned several names, earlier on, and I know you still speak with them and all that. Like, are you doing anything in your own, to change how brands, create their ads, do their ads,
I mean, I've had an agency for a while, and I've worked with a ton of brands. I won't mention anybody's name for obvious reasons, but I've worked with a ton of brands and some very exciting stuff that you NDA and things. So some very exciting stuff that you've seen happen, at least a few here and there. I'm probably involved. I mean, what I can say is I've been the creative director on Club Beer for maybe 4 or 5 years now, if not more.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, we've done some disruptive stuff. We've done some crazy TV series. If you see the way Club is moving, well, I mean, there's a bunch of agencies that work on Club, but the lead creative agency is Center Stage, and I've been the creative director for that.
That's dope. That's dope. Fred Lights Club.
It's the only beer to like, bro. Let's do that beer.
Yeah. Bro. I think the questions are piling on in my head, so I need to start letting them out. I'm taking you back because I find it interesting. You said, correct me if I'm wrong, it was either after uni or after high school, but when you were cooped up on the benches with the black MacBooks, was that after uni?
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective, something to digest. And then you've gone on to say when you were at the ad agency with a bunch of guys who have gone on to do superb things in their careers. But the story of you coming out of uni and then with a bunch of your homies deciding we want to take over the world in the creative space, we're going to do this, yada, yada. It's such a rare thing, it feels like it only happens in the creative space for the most part. But it's something that I've often discussed with people about how it shortchanges us when it comes to progress, right? Because it's sort of like an incubator. You're there, you know what you bring to the table. You said all of you self-taught how to use, what's the name of the software?
Photoshop.
Photoshop is a big deal. My brother learned how to do it. I always used to kick myself for not learning how to do it. All of these technical things, like sometimes it's an era. Everybody's learning Photoshop. You just catch on and then you lead to the next thing and the next thing. And then if you never caught on from Photoshop, it's so hard to like get into it because you don't even understand the basics of it. Long-winded thing to say is, what do you think? Because I've met Beat Menace, and I thought he was a genius. I said that to him.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm listening to you now. It's like, how do you guys find each other? But then, how did you decide that it was important to go off and do that instead of you come out of college? The typical thing is find a good job, do this and the third, and you guys are thinking, no, we want to go and do something entirely different. Something that would likely at the time and era be considered in Kwalabonisem, unserious. You know, these guys are just wasting time or they're kicking the can down the road. What was that inspiration? What motivated you? What do you think in your childhood, in your experience, around the people that you're around, allowed you to have that audacity?
I think we were just a bunch of spoiled kids. I'm not going to bullshit and give you any deep motivational. We're privileged, and we were privileged to not know what true hardship and torment.
Find money.
Yeah, whereas we grew up. What's the name of the book? East Bay?
Yeah.
Sneaker magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah, grew up with East Bays. I had every video game. Everybody had every video game. We had PCs. We used to play Unreal Tournament when he came back in our different houses. Dial-up. So it's like some bunch of okay kids who were like, recalcitrant at home or were so convicted in their minds about these things they wanted to do that they had the audacity to, upset their parents to make the point that we can't do this. Kofi's dad is a lecturer. My dad is a lecturer. Silence, mom is an administrator. She works with the United Nations. She worked with the United Nations. Kwei's dad also worked at the university. He's a lecturer and administrator. So we grew up well informed. Traveling was not a scarcity. Holidays, all that. We were exposed. Bob TV, Mnet, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So kind of friends that we were trading CDs. Do you understand how that be? You have to be trading video game CDs.
Yeah.
It's like they go finish it and bring it back with the little boxes and all that. Final Fantasy, Doom, like that's where we were. So by the time everybody got out of whatever world and we're now crazing about Acer laptops, I was like, bro, okay, cool. That's where we were. I mean, Kofi had Genelec speakers in 2008. Even today, people don't know Genelec speakers.
Yeah.
But to know it and have it. When we started our studio, we started with a 24-channel Mackie, Firewire mixer set, the Genelec speakers, and I think we had a dual monitor setup on some crazy shit that back in the day was running like 8 gig. 8 gig in 2009.
Crazy.
That was what we wanted to come and try our hands with.
Crazy.
And that's not the MacBooks everybody has. So we were okay, we're blessed.
Yeah.
You understand? So we had the audacity to not worry about anything. Let's go to Accra and fuck up. When you go home, at least there's rice.
There's substance in that. I love that you put it that way, and you said you were not going to bullshit anybody, because I think a lot of times people are shy to state where they come from. I'm never shy about that. What I come from is what I come from. I love the fact that my parents put me in a position where I was exposed and I was able to win. But I think I'm also trying to pull something out of there if it exists. I'm not forcing that it should, but I think there's something there more. You read about Jobs and Wozniak, and they were going to computer conference in the 60s. It's just like you're describing. The exposure be different level. Like you're sitting in a computer networking conference, hacking and all of that is being discussed in 1961. And then somewhere in the late 70s, early 80s, Gates starts doing his thing, Jobs starts doing his thing, and these guys actually come to rule the world.
Yeah.
It's the freedom that I'm speaking to, but also recognizing enough of it to say, because the DBs, then they. No be everybody do something sensible.
Yeah.
No be everybody. Some people were DB, had the same access, but then when it wanted to go and sit.
Facts.
There's nothing wrong with sitting in a corporate office with a tie and doing the corporate thing. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that it feels as though there was enough rebellion. Fuck the world. We're going to change this thing. We're going to do something. And I'm trying to understand if there was any particular material that you came across or philosophy that you read or things that you guys were interacting with that made you feel like, nah, we're going to be the outliers.
No, there was nothing. It was just we found symmetry in our goals. And our skill sets complemented so well. Kwe is an artist. Kwe go sit here and sketch us right now real quick. Kwe go frame up. I swear to God. You understand? Silas is a thinker. He's a creative. He designs, strategizes. It's his forte. I am a bit of an all-round, but the communication, like you said, whatever we need to say, mouthpiece. Kofi is the technocrat. So Kofi will mix the song 5 times before we send it to client. And that's fine, because that means that our sound is notches above everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So we complemented each other so well. So well. And that was a big thing that we all had. I think this is the first time we've been saying it. It's that kind of natural synergy that is unspoken. It's like Shrek and Donkey, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's unspoken. We didn't never need to say that, so you do this. It was like when we're setting up the studio, nobody was like, oh, I want to be the one in the studio. We were setting up the studio so that Kofi go run up. Because we'd be stupid to disrupt that balance of that the universe put together. When we went to client or we needed to talk to client, I said, we'll go do one. And it wasn't because I said, let me be the one. No, that. You get it. And it was just, the team worked. It was Basa 09. Tiki-taka was insane,
So did you guys recognize that amongst yourself to this day? You guys are still connected?
We're still connected and we collaborate just as, not as much with frequency, but just as such. Where if I need a strategy, I'll call Silas. If I'm technical about something, I'll call Kofi. If I needed somebody to, find an art direction or think deep visually on something, I'd reach out to Kwe. Still. And they also still reach out to me. Yeah. So the fact that we are the connection is that deep.
Where do you guys still have Mixdown Studio?
Yeah,
is it still working?
Mixdown is still active. George there runs Mixdown.
Really?
Yeah, Mixdown is still active. Mixdown has done at least, I don't know, a few thousand radio ads, low key.
Really?
Again, like I said, I'm not a cloud chaser, but there's next time you're listening to radio, you hear them. I'm giving you the gist now. Like I've done, like Tigo Freebonto. That's my voice on the AVO.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of ads. Like this is on my Facebook. Like I can't even remember.
Yeah.
A bunch of ads. I've been voicing club beer ads for the last 6-7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your birthday is on the 16th of July. Do you know you share birthday with Mensa?
Yeah. Me, Mensa, Whiskey, and a bunch of other people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, as I say. One of our parents did 9 months prior.
Is there anything? Do you think there is anything special about your birthday, 16th of July?
Yeah.
Because Mensa too is dope. Is a dope freestylist.
Yeah. Coincidence. And maybe a pattern that we are too small to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe you guys should look at what
your sun rising and
what music
horizon
the parents
falling.
were listening to in the era 9 months prior. Yeah. What music was influencing them.
Dope. So, see, real Charlie. One thing, one venture, or one move that you ventured, like I heard it or I saw it, and I'm like, hey, Charlie, this guy.
Why?
You own a football team.
Yeah.
A women's football team.
Yeah, on God, Charlie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, fucking crazy, bro.
Oh, why? Like how?
At times, myself, they hate me. I'm like, bro. So I have a good friend, childhood friend, probably from uni. And one day she barges into my office and was like, so let's start a team. I'm like, we can do that? I was like, yeah, fuck, we just have to register, blah, blah, blah. We host a Justify, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? We put out the Justify somewhere on the UPSA road, and before we had a few hundred girls, women, young girls from 7 years to whatever years, wanted to play football. So Rich City Football Club Women was born, and now there's Rich City Football Club Women, there's Rich City Academy, and a few other things. And we're also the first African Premier League affiliate. I think the last year or the year before, we were affiliated to Everton.
That's crazy.
Charlie. So yeah.
Wow.
So there's magic in there.
Do you have some of the players from your team playing for the national team?
No. We had one person, Cecilia, who went into one of the national squads. She did pretty well. But we have a few others who got scholarships and etc. outside. I mean, Lottie was outside and all that. So, I mean, and it's for me. I be sports freak, but I know die for football.
Yeah.
But my partner, Cleo go watch football before she eat. And that's what has held Rich City together. If it was just me, I would have looked at the CSR angle or the cash business angle and all that. But it's become our little genie for people who otherwise wouldn't have a wish.
Yeah.
You know, because we've done everything from taking care of people's health, you know, like minor surgeries, blah, 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 blah. Even though we know this player might not play on any world level, she's our responsibility now, and she's not in the best position. We footed up those bills. We've sent little kids to school, you know. We housed these girls. There was a point we had 35 girls thereabouts in a hostel. Yeah, housed, feeding, everything. Like, I mean, sorry to say this, everything from
how do you guys fund? How do you guys fund this?
From pocket. We've been doing it for years.
No.
Every now and then somebody says, "Oh, congratulations," but we don't have financing. We've not received a grant. We've not taken a loan. Nothing. We're just touching lives, you know. And we're not out here to win any massive league and share trophies. I mean, when we did start with our Division 1, we won the Division 1 league and got into the Premier League, but the Women's Premier League. But we tanked the Women's Premier League because, you know, there was lack of focus on the team and lots of issues. But I mean, again, just like my maths thing, we went from hair badging to my office saying, let's start a team, to winning the Division 1 league. So we feel like fucking magicians, bro. Like, we'll do it. So for us, that's the real focus of it, and making sure we impact the girls' lives. So we did train for Joel every Monday. There's kickabout, you know, where we play with random.
So you're saying you guys are not part of the Premier League?
No.
Is there a Premier League for
Malta
women?
Guinness owns it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they still own it, but when we're in it, Malta Guinness owned it.
Wow.
Malta Guinness WPL under the GFA. So yeah, we got in. We're hopefuls. I mean, we even won best social media club, club social media on the Ghana Football Awards.
Yeah, because
I mean, we didn't win. We were nominated.
Yeah, you guys.
We lost against Great Olympics and a bunch of other teams that have been here since Adam. So for us, you know, we just started to even be mentioned there. Like, fuck yeah, pop the champagne, Charlie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. I'm stunned about this football team owning, but a question I was going to ask you anyway, and this even makes me want to ask the question more than before, is looking at your life, your trajectory, everything that you've accomplished. It sounds like you've done a lot. In fact, you've done a lot. I think in a lifetime for someone your age, I think, you know, if you could pat yourself on the back, you should do it 10 more times. I'm very impressed and inspired and honored to be listening to your story. What I want to know is, do you ever, I've heard a lot of Ghanaians say this, creatives who have exposure and whatnot. Do you ever feel like I hate the word potential, but let's find another way to express this. Do you feel like your aptitude, your ability to do more is limited by your environment, the culture, demographic, or geographic location, all of that? Do you think, let's say you take you and the boys, Quay, Beat Menace, and you put them in the middle of Brooklyn, same era, same time. Do you ever wonder if in a parallel universe we would be so far here in recognition and accomplishment and people that we've touched versus the environment that you're in.
Yeah. I mean, I believe strongly that you are where you're meant to be. So I don't refer to things as limitations. I refer to them as a hindrance. If you're committed and want to get past it, you will. We were in an office in Osu in 2008 paying $300 a month to a man who didn't give a fuck what we're doing, come in and embarrass us, even if we had people there. But we didn't give up. We kept paying $300 over again, whether we had to borrow, whether somebody had to go kiss their mom's ass, whatever, we did it. There was a bank that later on became Access Bank called Intercontinental Bank. That was our first client. And at that time, we were fighting with agencies that had been there for 5-6 years. Just these boys in this small office. So Scott Storch made a bunch of money and lost it all. He's in America. There's a bunch of other people like him. So it's really about you. Because there's people in Ghana also who, got Grammy emails. But such an asshole. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I recognize the question and the contrast. And yes, in an ideal world, maybe with all this creativity and all the sacrifices and hard work, if we were in Silicon Valley or in New York or in Washington somewhere where the system gave a fuck and we could have, got angel investors to say, hey, kids, here's $10 million. Yeah, maybe I could have been Elon Musk. But that's not where the universe put me. The universe puts me on the Nigerian border and made sure I made it to Hohoi and made sure I made it to Legon campus and made sure I made it to Manchester and made sure I made it back. This is where the fuck I need to be.
Can I ask you something then? This is purely philosophical. Like, I get because I moved back to Ghana thinking I was born here for a reason. There's enough people in America who are genius enough to do what they need to do there. I feel like there's something for me here, purpose for me here. But I also struggle with this idea that is it convenient to say I am where I am and I'm going to make the most of it and this is where I was intended to be? Or I love who you just said I could have been Elon Musk, because I believe that. I don't think there's something extra special about him. I've studied the guy enough where I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm not that impressed. I think
his dad mined rare minerals, rubies and gemstones and things.
He's smart, but you're no less a genius or big menace. When I talk to you guys and figure out the thing that's working, the machine that's working in the mind, and the things that you dare to do, I even find it even more scary for kids out here to dare to do that, because it was never made cool around these parts. It was like frowned upon, and you still walk that path. So I guess I'm trying to further it that, do you think we need our own Elon Musks on this side of the universe? You mentioned things like angel investors, blah, blah, blah. This country is very limited in terms of people pouring into younger people and investing in them. How do you, if you could be in control with the experience that you've had, let's say you're 50 years old now, you've accomplished so much more in the decade because your experience is going to compound your earning ability and all of that. What would you reach back to do for your just out of uni self, cooped up in that little office paying $300 a month? As a Ghanaian, born and raised where you're supposed to be.
Good question. I probably would have, at the early stages, been less self-sufficient and collaborated more, because I lost a lot of the most valuable resource we all have, which is time, to the fact that I wanted to understand all the components of my journey, where I should have relinquished that desire to those who already understand it naturally and focus on what I understand naturally and collaborate with them. But I grew up in a space also where selfishness or micro-focus was huge. So maybe, I need Fred and Tumbo on my creative thirst journey. But that means exposing myself to the risk of you taking me back 10 more steps. So I juxtapose, do I want to risk going back 10 steps, or do I want to waste 5 steps in learning how to do what Tumbo does? So because of that, I can produce, I mix, I master, I write copy, I direct photography, I direct a ton of commercials. I can design if there's a gun to my head. I rap, I do poetry, I host radio and TV, because these are things that matter to me. And most of the skill set were things I was like, you know what, crunch down in 2 months and learn this thing. And even if they want to cheat you, at least your understanding surpasses the layman.
Same, yeah.
So a lot of times I'll be annoying on set. Because the photo you take, you're doing anything special, bro. I know the science of why your pictures are nice.
Yeah.
You understand? I can tell you how to shoot the commercial I want because I know how lenses work. So I'm not just some goof creative with an idea and I call a videographer who will tell me, say, you want to sell me white balance. Send me invoice, then white balance is tough. You understand?
Really?
You go say,
Hey, Charlie.
or you go send me some mixing this thing, then compressor, 500 CDs. Like, I fucking know what a compressor does, bro.
Yeah.
So it's made me more acute in the space as opposed to being, opened up and collaborating more. But collaboration also comes with that risk where somebody's going to nudge you off your track. What I've had in mind for myself has been in my head for the longest time. And I found a way to drown out the, hey, if I do this, so I like for do that.
Yeah.
That's what you think about me. You've not experienced being me for a second. That's a reaction you are having to the last time you experienced me. It's a response. It's not an original idea. It's not well thought out. You will not face the consequences of that decision with me. You will not even be interested in helping me out. Nothing. It's just a response because you heard Mutombo do poetry, so he should give up his whole life and be a poet. So that occasionally you might like his Instagram post. I'm not going to let you do that to my one life. So that's how I became a know-it-all. And what sparked it up for me was in my literature quest, I got an epiphany, or should I say another sign from the world, where I learned one of the most abused, there's a proverb or idiom or phrase or whatever, jack of all trades, master of none. I learned at a very young age what the full phrase is. Jack of all trades, master of none, but are oftentimes better than a master of one. And the philosophy of that quote is that it's better to be in a room where you know 50% of how everything works than to only know 100% of how one thing works. Yeah. Because the other things that you have no idea about will compromise your ability to deliver with what you know. Yeah. And for me, that was the universe saying, fucking go get it. So, too known, which is the kryptonite of Ghanaians. Nobody wants to be too known. It's also killing our inquisitiveness, our curiosity, and our ability to experiment. But any society that has excelled phenomenally was driven on these 3 things. China was inquisitive. Their curiosity was sought out, and they experimented till they got it right. Gone are the days where China used to be the laughing stock of the world. Now, China owns the fucking world. And they did it because they allowed themselves to fail. And we don't allow ourselves to fail because the process will label you too known. And the ridicule that follows the failure will crush you. That's why when Yawa come for Ghanaian artists, what happened? Ghanaian artists, today they were talking about SAC. The Paris thing, blah, blah. What they're making is that the world is over. SAC went on Hennessy Cypher for Ghana. And the first thing they did was pull down Manifest name. I get it, it's rap, but why are we like that? Why is that Fred has a success and our only way to experience Fred's success is to juxtapose it against what Mutombo experienced? Why are we like that? We are like that because we only appreciate things through a competitive lens. Examinations, kind of bullshit our parents used to say because that's what they were told. Why aren't you like Fred? Are you not playing with Fred all the time? And Fred got first in maths and you've brought me this. He thinks he's just being a dad. But what you're telling me is that you will be more pleased with me as your son to not be unique and be an individual, but you'll be more pleased with me if I was like Fred.
Right.
Yeah.
That was always problematic.
Yeah.
You get it? And your teacher reinforced that. And your boss reinforces that. And it's being reinforced in your church. You understand? The police will stop you and say, now also more far on one for Obi. Instead of addressing it, then how? First, we juxtapose everything. It's so entrenched in our mind that even comes to life in our language.
Yeah.
Which for me is a tragedy.
But just to harp on it again, not to be a dead horse. I'm trying to get what. Did you at any point in your career, since you started, feel like, man, if only we had this person believe in us, invest in us, or
Several times.
Yeah,
several times.
Okay.
I mean, push comes to shove. You're broke, you can't pay yourself, landlord is on your neck, client doesn't want to pay. You sit around a table and wonder whose uncle and whose auntie's friend or who we saw at Smoothies, who we can go and explain our wonderful idea to, who say, wow, here's, a million CDs. We tried it with a few people, from family to friends to acquaintances.
And it didn't work?
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
Nobody gives a fuck about your idea, bro.
As a 50-year-old, when you get to a different level, how would you go back and help yourself financially or like mentorship or whatever?
I'd invest in me. I'd invest in me. I'll throw
Do you think enough of that is happening in our cultural space?
I know.
Why?
Because, like you said, cultural space is just not cultural. Ghanaian culture is not rooted in benevolence. Ghanaian culture is rooted in pride. And pride is an individualistic, sentiment. Proud of my kente.
Yeah.
My kente involved from the Volta region. You understand? And everybody else is proud of it, but they're not proud of it enough to tell the truth of its origin, because the ego would be offended.
The Ashantis will fight it. Eh?
Exactly. You understand? Aigbe, which people think is a denigrative or negative statement, it's not. Togbe Aigbe, Togbe Ayi has refused. And that was a refusal of an attempt by, I'm not going to mention the clan or the tribe, but another clan to try and find a smart way to Trojan horse and take Ewe lands. Because the Volta River flowed into Volta. And that made the land, Volta region is the most beautiful region. That's not because I'm from there. It's just like, it's like the Grand Canyon will blow your mind.
Yeah.
You can't argue it. And you need to understand the kind of history and things that have happened, gone. And the fact that the name Aigbe is not an Ewe word, the name was not used by Ewes to represent themselves, is because those who heard it, that's what they could report. No, more Kase, then Aigbe. So Aigbe for the people who belong to Togbe Ayi's refusal. Togbe Aigbe. Get it?
Yeah.
So
A little bit of history.
Yeah.
it's a moment of pride. So if you call me Aigbe, I'm like, fuck yeah, we said no. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's because we have pride drives everything. So pride is in our politics, pride is in our churches, pride is in our schools. Go to school and make me. What's the end of the sentence?
Proud.
Probably, yeah.
Go to school and learn and understand how the world works. Who was told that? Were you told that? By a Ghanaian parent.
Yeah.
It's actually funny.
So
Go ahead.
So that brings me back to that. Actually, it's a good, it's a segue to my next question. Where is your dad and your mom now?
They're home.
Did they?
My mom is with me. My dad is at work. Something.
Oh, okay. Is he still working at Legon?
No, he consults. He's he's a macroeconomist.
What does he say to you now? Your path and all the things that you've done.
My dad is my biggest fan. He's my IMF. He's my sounding board. My big bro be that.
Yeah. And your mom?
Yeah, my big sister be that. So I broke the father, son, mother, son, whatever template a long time ago. These just be my niggas. So that's how I approach it. It's like, if I'm broke, I'm like, Charlie, send me something, I beg you. He's going to be a dad. What do you do with all your money? I'm like, bro, at this time, now that you're saying this, I know this was going to happen. That's why I've been broke since last week, but I don't even know how to call you.
Yeah.
So, relax. They go pay me some money lock, I do some yawa, but don't make her die. boom, boom, then some Momo will cry. You know, and that's for me is like the superpower I have, to be blessed with phenomenal parents who have been supportive even when they don't see the vision clearly. My dad was a lecturer, my mom worked in the civil service, and I came down, I'm going to rap.
Yeah.
So I've imagined my house. You understand? And then I do go rap, and then I win MC Africa. Because I was freestyling with NT and all these things before.
Yeah.
Then I went MC Africa.
Yeah.
So I come home and I'm like, I'm going to South Africa. The first day, nobody took me serious. Why are you coming back at this time? Like, I was at home like 2 a.m. They thought I was dead. You know? And it was all hell broke loose. And I just let them vent. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, this competition, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to South Africa. And I don't think they believed it that day. The next day, I think it was Vibe FM. Making noise about it and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, that's the thing I said I won. Then they took it serious. So actually, when I went to SA and came back, my parents had gathered all my friends in the house and had a party for me. So my cousin came to pick me from the airport. Unbeknownst to me, my house was full of all my friends.
Charlie,
wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
From my parents. So that's when they were like, all right, this guy might be stubborn, but we never expected this.
Yeah.
So after that, I kind of, if I tell him that, trust me on it, like, Charlie, all right. So in typical parents' fashion, when I do hit a roadblock and I come, they always give you a little "I told you so" and a speech and blah. I'm like, I've heard the speech. This is how business goes. It's not, a roller. It's not a Ferris wheel. It's a roller coaster. Sometimes the stocks are gonna dip, and I'm gonna come running. So just hold me down, and that's been our friendship. So they know everything about me. Friends know when I'm broke. Even my dad calls me hello. The way I talk, the house business. Like Charlie guy. Or my mom will call me, and then after we done, she tell me a WhatsApp. I didn't like your voice. Do you need anything? I'm blessed. Like, so,
Wow.
like I'm lucky enough. Like, I will not pretend I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's disregarding the sacrifice and the toil they put in to make sure that I have that kind of existence. So this is me acknowledging and thanking them, not me bragging about my life.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And I have, the little girls. I have Mawina and Kekeli, and I don't really care if she's able to, do all the traditional expected things. I want her to be expressive, and I want to be that same cushion for her. And guess what? My parents started being my paddies when I was done with university. So then they were parents, right? But they became my friends when I was done with university. And I'm so excited about the fact that from the moment, the doctor cut my kids out from my wife, they've been my friends. I don't daddy. Those are my niggas, and I'm excited for them because I go spoil there. On God, I go spoil there. Because there's no reason they should go through anything I've gone through. It's stupid to waste 2 lives on the same experience. It's utter nonsense. If you were God and you made somebody a footballer and you had one other power to make another person anything, it would be the most redundant decision to make another footballer. And I'm not going to let my kids go through everything I went through just because. And I'm blessed to have a sounding board that allows me to chart that path for them. So, to anybody listening or watching, that for me is what I think purpose is. Somebody in the lineage has to self-sacrifice for the creation of a system that alleviates the stress of everybody else to come. And that's what we don't do. And that's what leads to the kind of thing we refer to as generational wealth. And for me, my kids will be phenomenally well off.
Yeah. I have a follow-up to that, but I'm sure...
No,
go ahead. Okay. No. This is also you've gone down a path that I think may deserve its own episode at some point. But this idea, I don't believe in it, but it's said that the generation that becomes wealthy, the next generation inherits it, they waste it. Yeah. And then they go through struggle, and then the next generation has to come and pick up. But there's also the concept, there are families. This is the reality of it. There are families who have been able to sustain it for several
centuries, bro.
Several centuries. And there's a methodology to that. And it's interesting for me to hear you say, I think one of the most profound phrases was, it's redundant or useless to waste like 2 lives in the same experience. I'm paraphrasing to a certain extent, but I think that's what the idea you're expressing. And you know where we're from, not just where we're from, but the world over, a lot of people like to believe in this idea that, struggle builds character, or, sweat, or going through it makes you tough. And there are things that I can glean from it and say, I get it. But also I'm the guy who thinks boarding school was the most fucking useless experience of my life, sending me off to that dirty place in Cape Coast for me to go and use that dirty water, for me to hang around people I didn't like, and people to punish me unnecessarily, only for me to come out more rebellious against the entire fucking system, because I'm like, why the fuck did I have to experience this? Right? And I'm older now, and I still feel even the same way more. I would never send my child to Cape Coast. You're saying that you're going to spoil your children, you're going to be friends, you're happy you're friends with them even since day one than what you experienced after uni. What is it that you have seen or experienced that makes you feel like that's the bet you're willing to make? That's the risk you're willing to take? Because I would consider everything a risk in general.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, taking it from what you said about, they say suffering builds character. It does. But it does simply because suffering is the only way you experience non-negotiable learning or inevitable learning. When you bump your small toe on the table, right? You don't control that learning process.
Yeah.
That's experience imprinting on you. Fuck. That's brute force learning. And a lot of parents are not great at teaching. We assume being a good parent makes you a good teacher. And because of that, we've allowed great parents to fuck up their kids because they were shit teachers. Right? What you need to do to make sure your kids don't end up fucked up is to teach them what needs to be done for the reason it needs to be done. Not for the point of compliance, not for the point of controlling them, not for the point of making them like the neighbor's kid, but for the absoluteness of the reason. There's everything some in my fridge for my kids. But I let them know we don't eat ice cream whenever we feel like ice cream. The fact that ice cream is there is so that you take it and it's special every time. So when my daughter comes in and she's asking, Daddy, is that ice cream? I said, what's the word? They say plain, and she goes outside. So I'm not telling her she doesn't have it. I'm letting her know that she needs to build a routine where it's acceptable. And if she presents that acceptable routine to me, where maybe it's every Friday she comes to ask for ice cream, she gets ice cream. So she shuts up from Monday till Thursday, and it makes the ice cream even more delicious for her, because now she's carrying the illusion of control. I'm allowing her to have ice cream every week. But to her now, she knows she can get ice cream every week. And she's learning that the fact that something is abundant or something didn't cost an arm and a leg is not the fact that you should waste it.
You should waste it, yeah.
You get it? And I will buy her the nice toy. But if she starts messing up with it, I will take her through the process of fixing it. Daddy, I want to draw. I'll give her the paper and the crayons. When she messes up, I'll wake her and say, you see, when you called me, I knew where the paper and the pen was and I gave it to you. Imagine if I couldn't find it. Would you like that? No, I always want you to give me the pen and the paper. Okay, so pack it for me so I can put it back where I took it. And she packs it because she understands. Not, why have you left the paper there? Blah, 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 blah. And she's reacting to daddy being upset and learns nothing. So that's how I interact with my kids. So maybe to be soft, somebody will think blah, blah, blah. I'm doing it from a point where I'm more interested in how I shape the psychology of the child than just their visible behavior. Because a lot of our parents, or parents in general, react to the physical manifestations of what the kid is doing.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to let the kids understand. You know, don't stand on the table. Why? The kid wants to stand on something. How do you not things kids stand on?
Yeah.
Redirect it. But don't stand on the table because you know what daddy said about the table. Yeah, daddy said it about the table, but you've not taught him anything. he's now in a militarized system.
Mindset, yeah. Like a zombie, like
As a
robot.
zombie.
Yeah.
And we confuse very compliant kids. Why do you think the more compliant a kid is, the more timid they are?
Well, timidity is one of the things that pisses me off about the general culture here.
Yeah.
A lot of people are timid.
It's because compliance, obey before.
complain.
Yeah, we said every institution says it. I'm sorry, cry. I can't. Obey before complain. And that's something we've institutionalized. That you say and a Ghanaian will complete for you. After nonsense. Nya. The most nya.
Yep.
You understand? And that's how we raise our kids. That's how we train people in our offices.
Yeah.
So people are zombies and responding to the stimulus. But, bro, not be all Ghana they think. A lot of people haven't had an original thought in the last decade.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. So imagine you coming with novel ideas, trying to interact with these people who are waiting for boss to tell me what to do, even though his job says ABC. That's why creatives can't work in corporate.
Yeah.
You know, and when corporate people come to creative space, they think we are mad.
Yeah.
You get it? Because one is driving on the understanding of the experience, and the other is complying to the experience. And they'll definitely, that's why accountants, if you want money from accountants to go and do a creative project.
Yeah. Like,
because he books for balance. He's not making payments to 24th. You two, you say some artist data. If you don't capture them at that time, you're thinking about two different things.
Yeah.
The money is just an intersection, but you are, Charlie, it's fucking fire and water.
yeah.
So there'll always be a clash. And that's where it starts from the parenting, because nobody is teaching their kids as much as needed to understand and to think and come up and know that it's okay to be too known. It's okay to be smarter than daddy. If I told my kid something and she corrects me all the time. I mean, not that she's smarter than me, but she's a smart mouth. So she can say some stuff and I'm like, okay, like I never scold her. I'm like, ah, cool. So she's thinking the brain can bite back. If I poke it, there's a little growl. I like that. Because that's what you need to put a filter of politeness on that so that she doesn't become an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? And be talking back to people and be a know-it-all and be a snob. But if you do that and you put politeness in it, it's like the Fantis say, when they want to insult you and they add in Pacho. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's how you have to guide it. But a lot of us were not raised like that. And, for me, I was lucky enough that after university before, I got that relationship with my parents and it all switched.
I actually like your relationship with your parents. Like how you just described it. It's very, very dope. It's kind of rare here in Ghana. Let's talk a little bit about your daily show on 3. Yeah. Can you give us 5 guests that you've had on that show that will be with you for a long time? 5. Because it's a daily show and it's been up for like 2 years. Yeah.
I like my interview with Shatawale. I like the panel with Shatawale where we got to find out Charles, we got to find out Junior, we got to find out Shatawale and reveal to the world that there's a tri-persona at play. He was calm, he was not the erratic Shatawale on Facebook Live. He was a nice gentleman and it was a surprise. And Stonebwoy is literally my brother, so I'm just saying this. Every time I say something about Shatawale that I'm not happy with or whatever, it's like, you hate on Shatawale. Bandana from Ghana, na. You can get me, oh, na. We live in 2 tight, bada. Just kill them every day, dance all king, SM, I love Shatawale. When Shatta came with that song, nobody sing and pass me.
Yeah.
I had a black accord. My subwoofer was doing everybody like my thing. I love it.
It's a dope song.
But sometimes Shatawale the tear chain. And that's cool. And I'm too real to not say, bro, what be this? And that's fine. And if you know me, I do it to everybody. L, Stone, whoever. I tell you a spade is a spade. I don't know if you're anybody. But Ghanaians, we can't criticize or we can't suggest or whatever without
it becoming something else.
An issue. So I deal with that. But Shatters was definitely a mind-opening one. We also had the boss of YouTube, Sub-Saharan Africa. I've forgotten her name. It's a little complex name, but it was also very enlightening. We got to learn.
That's 2.
That's 2. It was dope having Sak on there.
That's 3.
Nana Banama was enlightening. That's 4. And then maybe who else? Duncan Almighty. Duncan Almighty went back to school. I think he got a master's in something with music. Built a company, a media house. You know, bro, Obianuju, we're there thinking Obianuju has fallen off. Obianuju pulled a big U-turn and become a whole different kind of master. So Nanaba, Duncan Almighty, Sark, YouTube, and Shutter.
Shutter, that's dope. And I feel your show and this podcast is quite, similar.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Fred, have you watched TV? You don't really watch
it. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah, YouTube.
Okay.
Culture Daily.
Let's talk about the Grammys. And why do you think the Grammys has now opened up? Because I feel that they are up to something. I don't know if it's because of the rise of Afrobeats, is it because like Africa is now, on that, rise? Like, why has the Grammys opened up, like this?
I think it's all about timing. I think this is a unique time for African music, and we have the right amplification and the right ambassadors leading the African music conversation. And I think without the likes of Burna Boy, knocking on the Grammys, without the likes of Stone Boy, riding on Angelique Kidjo's creative experience and years of wisdom to also try and knock down the Grammy doors, without all these people doing it, the music in itself in isolation wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because there was Azonto, there was Kwaito, there was, which one was P Square them doing? Ulo Fumi, which one was that? There was all that great music. Yeah. And Grammys didn't fuck with it because maybe we didn't have the promotional power that we have now, and because we didn't have ambassadors who looked at the Grammys as something attainable. Grammys was like the boogeyman. As much as it was, you don't believe, like an Oscar. Like I do Ghanaian film, I go in Oscar. You know the mindset? Like, but Idris Elba come do Beast of No Nation for you. We watch them. When you're watching Beast of No Nation, you are watching an American film.
Yeah.
In your mind. That's sad. Because you've conditioned yourself that the quality, if it's a Ghanaian film, cannot be this good.
Yeah.
So when it becomes good, instead of you changing your perception about Ghanaian films, you rather
transpose it back to
where you think it comes from. Yeah. And that's what was happening in our music. The music is so dope. Hey, this is like the Yankee like go hate to. I don't know if he's Ghana.
Yeah.
And the gatekeepers and the promoters and the administrators and the financiers all have this mindset. That if Mutombo is good, you should leave Ghana because he's too good for Ghana. And so people were too good for Nigeria. People were too good for Kenya. People were too good for South Africa, wherever. But for now, we have David O'Banner, Stone, a few people who...
Shutter.
I don't know if Shatta is part of the Grammy conversation. I don't know. Has he said anything about the songs? I don't know. But I mean, Shatta is big, so
yeah, he's
I've not
big.
seen him consciously pursue Grammy. That's what I'm saying. So that's fine.
He has, especially when he made that song with Beyonce. Yeah,
okay,
he was making
so excellent.
A whole lot
so
of noise.
Shatta, Stone, Bernard, David, Wiz. We thought Wizkid and Justin Bieber will be on the song. Yeah. Who thought?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, no Diddy, but who thought Burna Boy and Diddy would ever have a rapport? Who thought Chris Brown's bestie would be Davido?
Yeah.
Nobody thought about it. So, I mean, I know it's Nigerians I'm mentioning, unfortunately, but they did it for the whole of Africa.
Yeah. They've
proven that, yes, I can have... Davido has a purely American and Nigerian background. Wizkid is 100% Nigerian. Burna has a British-Nigerian background. Stone
really? Burna?
Yeah.
London boy.
Stone is 100% Ghanaian.
Ashama to the world.
Well, Shatta is repping hard for
Kolegono.
soldiers. You understand? Then there's the likes of Blacko.
Yeah,
who's taking Konongo to the whole fucking world. So now we have people who are so driven by their music potential. Yeah. They are knocking on the biggest door in the industry, and it cannot be ignored anymore. And it's no mystery that African music doesn't fit into the American music ecosystem. It's a side dish. It's like what Latin pop was, you know, when we had the likes of Pitbull. He stopped there. When we had Pitbull.
Yeah.
People jump to it. Americans play Pitbull parts, but nah, it's never gonna.
Yeah.
It's like when Christina Aguilera came up.
Yeah.
Britney Spears still won.
Yeah.
Because Britney Spears was a Caucasian pop star.
Yeah.
And Christina Aguilera had that little, you know.
You know, I wonder what you think about this. And this Grammy thing, congratulations on it, by the way. It's a big deal. I think university is probably the most respected standard for music awards and all of that. So for you to be a part of it, I wonder how you've let it like marinate in your spirit. But no, you said something that I wanted to get you guys' opinion on. I think Americans are extremely territorial. Yeah. And they have this, you know, surface thing where it's like, oh, we're welcoming and America is made up of all people. But the moment that they feel that the threat is from outside and it's an outsider, and this is not me being Team Drake trying to give him a way out, but I feel like the consensus was they had made up a child. We are tired of this fucking guy. Whatever it's going to take to get him out of here, let's get him out of here, because the king of rap cannot be not American, if whatever it takes. You know, because 69 God, to get somebody out of here as a lyric, 69 God, like, are we joking? Like, this be the lyrics where he did dethrone the king. But it's interesting to me that you've given me examples, Christina Aguilera, all these other people that try to, you know, broach that landscape, to sit on top of the mountain. Because
America would rather, sorry to cut you, America would rather create an alternative. So, you know, Westlife.
Yeah, that's what I wanted you to speak on, so go ahead. I'm glad you cut me.
There was Westlife, there was Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. But there was also Drew Hill, there was 112, there was Jagged Edge. But that was for the black community. I don't think Jagged Edge and Drew Hill and the one Cisco was part of Drew Hill. I don't think these people transcended beyond the black community massively. I know there was a massive spillover and, you know, white girls were going crazy for 112 and all that. But the impact was based strongly in race and ethnic status, identity. Exactly. So you have America being a place, like you say, that's heavily guarded. So from their guarded position, they can appreciate the wonder of Afrobeats. But are they going to allow Afrobeats to come into America and circumvent everything they've built?
That's what I want you to speak further on, like to expand on the thought.
I don't think so. There would rather be the possibility of, like we see Davido and Chris Brown doing. They'll appreciate it, right? Chris Brown has a song with Wizkid too, right? He has a song with Wizkid where Wizkid starts the song. That's pure strategy. But he has a song with Davido where Davido also starts the policeman. Right? And he lets his brothers shine equally on him. It's not your typical feature where somebody's a superstar. You listen to the song and you can't tell who's the superstar. Just love the song. And that's strategy. Question from a strategic standpoint is, are the Americans lapping up Wizkid and Davido as much as the Africans are lapping up Chris Brown? And the answer is going to be no. Because in America, there are many barriers to that. But we as Africans have a culture where anything from Ambroche is dope. And people who look like me and you are dark like me want to look like Chris Brown. You understand? And you think Chris Brown...
Actually, did they reverse psychotic?
Yeah. You get it? So the flow of opportunity flows one way. What opportunity are we going to give Chris Brown in Africa when we are trying to leave Africa for the opportunity in America? Doesn't mean that you are Davido or you are Black Sherif or you are the underground guy in Swedru this evening. Doesn't matter where you are. What could you possibly offer Jay-Z? Ecosystem, bullshit. Media landscape, highly political and politicized. Creative landscape, crippled. Right? Currencies out the window. Industry struggling, half of it's owned by China. You understand? So what possibly they can give somebody who cut their teeth in Hollywood, somebody who cut their teeth in Interscope, somebody who's been on Interscope for 20 years or 15 years, like what they can give out for Africa? He likes the extra fan base. The streams add up. And the way these streaming sites go with the numbers now, you need all the numbers you can get. So if there's a possibility of getting 20 million more streams by featuring Mutombo, fuck yeah, Mutombo will have the time of your life. But you're not going to get 20 million more streams from my fan base. Might get 1 million more, but the impact is going to be 90-10, 80-20 at best. You're not going to become a huge American star just because you featured an American star. And that's the dynamics. But you might be, I mean, some of the artists that we've prided ourselves to have featured in Ghana here, honest to God, they be B-listers.
Yeah.
I'll mention any names. Rappers, dancehall artists, whatever. We've all of our friends. They featured, and I know what it takes. I know some of the money some people pay to get a feature of it. It's like B-listers. And why would you waste money to get a B-lister on your song? Because the value of that B-lister supersedes your A-list contemporary. So I'd rather get an American B-lister than feature an A-list Ghanaian. And the reason why they charge you an arm and leg is because they know you're trying to tap into their value. So that's it. So for me, for the Grammys, it's all about value. And it's a great thing. It's not a bad thing. I have no problem with it. It's great because with their identification of the value also comes the value chain. When you see the valuable thing, you figure out how to get it out of the earth. And that builds everything else. So now labels, execs, everything are going to now look in for the raw talent and see how best they can take it from the African standard of what we've been doing for the last few decades to doing it on a way that they can maximize it on a global scale. We mentioned Pat Thomas. There was foreign influence. That's why he's a global success. That's why we talk about him till today. We mentioned Osibisa. There was a foreign influence. Managers, A&Rs, there were white people involved. You understand? Mention anybody. Lady Smith, Black Mbazo, Yesende, whatever. There was always a foreign amplification.
Fella, yeah.
That made them the icons they are today. Those who didn't get that, who were equally dope, remained here and died. So for me, it's value. So now there's value in it. It's highly marketable. Look at Make Me Sweat. What's her name? Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler's doing American pop. Aya Star went from Sabi girl to international girl. She's doing UK pop. She's doing European pop now. She has a song with Naked. Listen to it. It's reminiscent of the Miss Dynamite era and that kind of black pop. They are transitioning into the bigger world, but the bigger world is not seeping in at the same rate into the African space. So we are still accepting music on radio, you know, that people mixed in their bedroom that we know sounds like shit, because 200 CDs is more than integrity. Where in America there's a system where, yeah, somebody might hype you on it, but nobody's going to play this on primetime radio. Like, you're dope, boy, but, you know, go get you a mix and come back. They will tell you that before chopping your money, because he wants you to get the mix so that he knows that the thing is at a certain quality. He will now want to DD you. And you know what, let me manage you and take advantage over 10 years and chop. But the Ghanaian one chopped that 200 CDs that day. So instead of impacting value, you've just taught the other person that it's more important to pay my way through than to actually develop my skill to a point where I am desired. That's the landscape we have, compared to a landscape where people want to do the right thing.
How should we capitalize off of this moment in the sun that we have? Like, the floodlights are on Africa now, on African artists, whether I think more than ever before in our lifetime. How do we capitalize? What would you do if you had the controller?
I'd build the systems, because the Grammys coming here is also bringing a host of residual players who we might not be hearing of. We already have Spotify on the continent. We have AudioMac on the continent. I don't know if Apple Music is on the continent. YouTube is on the continent. Google is on the continent. Meta is on the continent. Do you see what's happening? Yeah. These are economic slave ships that are docking on the shores, the coast of Africa. They are coming with an arsenal that we cannot fathom. Google, Facebook. Like, bro, these businesses are bigger than some African economies.
Yeah.
So when they show up here, it's not for your benefit, bro. Calm the fuck down. Strategy. These are economic slave ships. And when I say slave ship, I don't mean it in the slave mind. I mean in the way where in our joy and eagerness to be a part of something so huge, we might shortchange ourselves.
Yeah. No leverage.
You understand? No leverage. I don't know how many people reached out to Meister when he was at Twitter to say, how can I be a part of the team? Is there any ancillary services or support services that Twitter needs that I can build a business around, or I can offer my services around, blah, blah, blah. But I do know how many people reached out to my staff for a verification tick to Cloud Chase. That's why we failed that strategy. Right?
Yeah.
When I reached out to my staff, what I said was, bro, you know what I do. You know what I'm good at. I know the rooms you're going to be in. So when you're there and you are looking for fucking John Wick, I am your guy, bro.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I worked with Meister in advertising a long time ago. We worked on Tigo together. I was a copywriter. I was also a junior copywriter. So I've known Meister long before Mr. Easy and Banku Music and Meister Music and all that. So I was like, bro, congratulations. You know, let's stop clapping for each other. You are now in that room. You know my ass now. If they need a nigga like me, if there's something I can do to enhance you being there or whatever, and I can also get some bread and move on and we grow together. I was humble enough. I was selfless enough. I was clear enough to not make it like I was looking for a handout, but I would rather be honest and say, don't go cause some idiot. You know, say that people, they know be the one. You know I'm the guy, and we have a relationship that's worth it. So fuck blue ticks.
Yeah.
I got verified on Twitter by being verified on Twitter.
Yeah,
Okay, anybody,
yeah.
anything. Twitter was like, well, let's verify this guy. They verified me. You know, now that we pay for it, I don't take it seriously because it's lost its
Essence.
its essence. But people were on Meister's, ish about blue ticks. I really wonder how many people wanted to collaborate with Twitter or see how businesses could spawn from it. Because you think Twitter exists in isolation? No. Twitter is the head of a big dragon. There's a million other little things that make Twitter work, Facebook work, Google work, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like these car factories, these car companies. You know, everybody wants a Rolls Royce. It's a fucking BMW. You know? Perspective.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe you don't get to work at the Rolls Royce factory, right? I hope it's Rolls Royce. Yeah, Rolls Royce is BMW. Yeah. You might not work at or get to buy a Rolls Royce, but you might be overqualified for even the BM.
Yeah.
And that puts you in the system. But everybody wants instant gratification in Ghana and in Africa. So the discipline to stay on strategy rather than reward is what's killing us. We are so reward driven. So we will corrupt if need be. We will sidestep if need be because strategy comes with the inevitable process. And we were not raised for process. We were not encouraged to follow process, and we don't appreciate the value of process. So if you are doing anything by process in Ghana, Ghanaians will tell you, say, you be
long.
Again, you see what as a man thinks. So we've transitioned that bullshit, and now it's in our language, and it's okay to tell somebody, say, it belong. And if you tell me it belong, I see you. The moment you tell me it belong, what you are saying is that I don't have the commitment and the discipline to do this thing the right way.
Yeah.
And I want you to make me happy and feel how I want it now. Even if I know it might not be the best way. So it will be difficult. Great. Let me be long. Because when I get there, the money will be longer. But you want it now because that's the world you grew up in. So, bro, Ghana, everything they are language. If you have a 1 hour conversation with a typical Ghanaian, you see where all they are. Everything they are language. It manifests so clearly.
Yeah.
So, for me, what we need to do is figure out what cradles the Grammy. What feeds into it? Who do they need as a critical partner? Let them not go and import resources and personnel and assets from other places and come and install here. Then it's a false win, right? It's just located in Africa, but there's nothing African about it, and that for Africa would be a loss.
Of course.
Like I was telling people the other day that Gassem is not Ghanaian. They're flabbergasted. I'm like, power of branding.
Yeah.
Because they put God there, so you think it's for you. But also, my white man cement.
Golden tree no be for your.
Yeah.
Far nice no be for your.
You understand?
Yeah.
The African principle
You
they
know
wear
why?
no be your.
Because somebody was willing to go through the process.
Yeah.
And we wanted it instantly. So everything we build crumbles. It's like the story of the pigs, the fucking pigs. The house of straw and what. We just they build with straw.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just they build with straw. And foreigners, they take the time build a fucking military-grade nuclear bunkers. And institutions last forever. How long has Barclays been running? Now Barclays owns entertainment centers.
It's crazy.
You understand? Something that's not even their job.
Yeah,
MasterCard invests in creative arts and you're all these things. Which
They're expanding.
Yeah.
They've made so much success. They're like, what other things that have nothing to do with us can we put our money in? You understand? And most African businesses and enterprises can't even take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Dope. So, talking about money, talking about funding, right? If you had someone come to you, someone with money come to you, go like, Cyril, I have this amount of cash. Let's just say 2 mil. I want you to pick one person who you think we can sell to the world. Who would you pick?
In what industry?
Music, of course, because that's a space that you are well versed in. Yeah. Who would you pick and why?
I'd probably pick E01.
Why?
He's a superstar. He's a fucking guy, but
Are you not saying this because you're friends with him?
I'm saying it because I am friends with him, because I've seen him at the tough times, I've seen him at the good times, I've seen him at, all the levels, rapper of the year, album of the year, all that. I still listen to something else, CD2.
Dope.
Banaman. You understand? And he's an all-rounder, and we rarely get that. El produces, mix, master, sings, raps.
All very good.
I rap, and El knows I rap, but on diversity and the scale of his music creativity, I'm not there.
Yeah.
And if anybody needed a magic wand to, hold the world hostage by the neck, fuck it. Yeah.
Wow.
I would have said Stonebwoy. Stonebwoy's already there. Stonebwoy is now an international artist. He just comes from Ghana. And, it's hard for Ghanaians to grasp that. It's like I'm overhyping him. But if you have somebody doing world tours, shutting down Accra Sports Stadium, a Paris Fashion Week, going to perform at other shows in England, going to other Germany, going to America, and the whole calendar year is touring, that's not a local artist. And we have a problem saying that because, we'd either want to compare or would like to take a shit on it. But, I would want that for EL and more.
That's dope. That's really dope.
Yeah, real talk.
Cyril, Charlie, we thank you for coming through the podcast.
Boyaka.
Charlie, this is jam, massive jam, nice conversation.
But we no finish yet. Yeah, like how we started, we don't want to end them the same way.
Okay.
We don't want to make you give me freestyle. Make it pure freestyle, though.
I was going to ask whether you wanted a verse or whether you wanted
No, pure freestyle.
How do we make it?
I'm not saying you freestyle chair.
Oh, no,
so this is a challenge.
Old samurai, my sword always sharp. Don't try. Now, let's make it interesting. So dictate what the freestyle's about. And what you want to hear. What, do you want me to talk about something, or you want me to talk about something you say, or what? I don't know. Make it so that it's believable.
Do you know this guy, Harry Mack?
No.
Oh, Charlie, you have to check him out.
Oh, yeah, the white guy.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. With the Bluetooth and
Yeah.
So pull that.
Yeah.
Let me know what you want to hear. I'll see what I don't.
Should we throw words?
Yeah. Let's go.
There may be two words.
I don't mind.
Fred, Fred, 3 or 2 words, then I'll throw my 2 words. Then we.
Twice wait, or you can throw it while I'm rapping. So.
Okay. So Fred, 3 or first word.
Oh boy.
Oh, you two
I don't want to think of any because people were expecting. I go talk some big words. Where that don't be what I want to do.
See, those words, he know, it
I know.
break out.
That's why I know.
So give them simple.
And in general, just going away from what people will expect from me. That's what I'm trying to think. Akufo-Addo. That'd be one word. I mean, that'd be two names. But Akufo-Addo as a phrase. Or name or whatever.
Do you want me to mention the name, or you want me to rap about the person?
Feel it free.
Yeah,
and
feel
you're
it
the
free.
green, you're the catchy.
Yeah.
Okay. So in response to your word about Akufo-Addo, I just want to find out on real, do you feel how I do? Ghana's really going sideways. We brought the change, but still we're in the same place, feeling like we strained. I understand the mind frame that I'm speaking on is not a project of hate or something deeper on. It's just the flow of a Ghanaian expressing its truth and bringing the proof to the table.
Carbon copy.
Carbon copy, how we copy all the foreign material. Bring it back every time like the boxes of cereal. All grains, no brains. We do it every time, try to align. Still on the brain is a strain, but I maintain I come through every way I do.
Hey.
Still, I'm spitting like the lyrical proof, and I don't think about thinking, and I just
Podcast podcast.
Podcast, do it all day like me and you. How we be talking and chilling, just sitting here on this couch, doing it however you want. We ain't doing too loud. We ain't doing too much.
Oh, yeah,
Doing
guy.
it tough.
Massa. Oh, yeah, fucking guy.
Charlie, you the whole Ghana.
Too easy. Guy.
Charlie,
Light work.
I go feel put my money on some cereal any day.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's big ups.
Don't
man.
fall for life.
That was dope. That was fucking fire.
Charlie,
Come and say.
No, for pray.
hey, Charlie.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yo, murder.
Bro.
And it was all sensible shit.
Yeah.
It was like,
Man.
no.
See how the Ekufuado, Charlie, he just beats round them, talk about Ghana. It's like, oh, Charlie.
Yeah, that was fun.
Damn, I wish I could freestyle like
Practice, bro.
you. Yeah,
practice.
but I still don't agree with you. You said you don't have to think. But Charlie, what should they do? It be thinking, like your mind isn't just free flowing.
No, he's saying that he's not thinking in the process about it.
But how? How?
See, there's no,
Charlie,
there's no time for thinking. You think when you want to let the ink sink in. Paper, the Cape Crusader. If I do this, it's like I'm a superhero, just letting it go. Take it from 100 straight from the beginning to 0. I let the words align on my mind and I just let it rhyme. I don't wait for the seconds. I don't think about the time. I don't wait whether to fail or whether I will succeed. I just do it the same way that I do it and breathe. I just let it go off the top. Never gonna flop. Never gonna stop. Without a microphone, I will still drop.
Yeah. The mind, he's working it like a muscle.
Yeah, teach your brain.
Yeah,
Oh, my brain, they do this.
So like, do you take time off, like maybe 20 minutes to just freestyle in your room every now and then?
Freestyle in the shower, freestyle in the car, freestyle while I'm working, I freestyle everywhere.
That's dope. That's dope. Charlie,
That was dope, man.
guys, give it up. Cereal in the
That's some
house.
fly shit.
Came to murder us.
Charlie, lovely podcast.
Charlie, thank you for coming through the podcast. We've been speaking for a long time about everything. Charlie, I was in a zone, Accra, Charlie.
Yeah.
You know, and Charlie. Yo, Charlie, it's still a bit between you. No, I know this side of cereal, but anytime we in a freestyle,
It's like
it
magic.
just they bust my mind.
Be like magic. That'd be why he separates the
And I'm
talent from.
always praying that he like goes off and go, oh shit, what am I saying? But I've never ever seen Cyril go like, oh shit, like wait, so nah, always they flow.
Thinking on your feet.
It's crazy, Charlie.
Yep.
Moving.
Guys, Charlie.
Moving.
We know say you guys could love this episode.
It could be too fire.
Charlie, but in order to get folks like Cyril on this show, you have to subscribe.
Most def.
More followers, more subscribers. Once we call Cyril, it will come show we love. And Charlie, many people go see this episode, and by doing that, we dey grow. So you guys, you for do that, give we Fred.
Yo, bro. The last time I felt this kind of thing was when your homie was here, Beat Menace.
Yeah, Beat Menace. Yeah.
I went away for a long stretch. I'm like, wow, these guys actually exist in our ecosystem. I'm honored to be in your presence. Real talk. There's very few people that I meet that intellectually get me turning. Yeah. And you've done that. And I really appreciate it. I just met you. I literally was doing my research in the couch when I got here because I was supposed to be doing it and I was doing some other work and stuff. But I'm blown away. I'm not disappointed. And I'm going to go dig even deeper. But just keep shining, man. The things that you do, it'd be amazing.
So
like
keep showing love.
For real.
Yeah,
like, Charlie. Yeah, kudos to you, man. Big ups.
Kudos,
Charlie.
Solid
Charlie,
podcast. Love the set and can't
Charlie.
wait for this, man.
Thank you, Charlie. Guys, Charlie, we talk everything finish. We are going to chill.
More jewels, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
I think this episode, you sit with it and process it
You
because
know something? Let me cut you. You just said one of the most important things we didn't speak about. He said more Jules. DJ Jules was my roommate at Pent. And when Jules started fucking around with beats and sampling and everything, I was always over his shoulder freestyling and whatever. And that's another place where we sharpened each other's swords. And Jules produced a ton of music for me. Before Banku Lies.
Jules, I business for beats, old beats, they use, my music kind of
you like that thing. Before Banku Lies, Jules, were like this. And fast forward, Jules released arguably one of my biggest songs, Opemu. He produced that with Manifest. And then he also went on to become, another giant. And who gave the recommend on me, on the Grammy process? Jules.
Wow.
So I'll give him his flowers for
shout.
Dope shit.
I was worth a recommend, and for the Grammy squad to think that I was worth being recommended in the first place. So Jules, massive love to Jules.
Massive love.
No, guys, but seriously, I love that you interjected with that very
important
dope shit. Yeah, dope information.
Guys, the F More Let's Divide podcast. Fred.
Yes, sir.
We are through.
Booyaka! Oh, this was fucking fire, man. This was fucking fire. Dope. We need more of this in this space, Charlie. That'd be how we would dead the